Got to set up the headphones. Everybody's wearing the headphone now. Not everybody, as I can see. Majority of the people has it. So we are quite flexible in language. Who prefers to have it in German? And who does want to have it in English? First German. Okay. And English? English speaking? Okay.
Okay, then
we'll do it in English.
We stay in English.
Then we'll stay in English. Yeah, thank you very much for attending. Shortly after the lunch break.
Ich glaube, das Mikro geht, glaube ich, nicht.
Geht nicht?
Nee, nee.
Geht? Oh, he said it works.
Okay.
Yeah, it works. Okay. So thank you for attending to this session here. I have the pleasure to introduce Kristijan to you. He is from the Salzburg AG, one of our customers. But he is, of course, he will tell you a little bit about something which we call alienation, which is a transformation of a very traditional, but very successful, to be honest, industry in Austria. And we are just a tiny little part of it. But we thought it is so interesting how you can convert a company like that into something more digital, I would say, that we presented this here to you today. So the stage is yours. Enjoy the presentation.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you very much. Yeah. Hi to everybody. Welcome to the OMR. My name is Kristijan. And today I will give you an overview and show you a little bit about our journey the last 5 years, how we transformed the company, Salzburg AG. I will also give you some context about the company so you get a little bit deeper insights, what we are doing. And we call this alienation, this presentation, and maybe later you will figure out why we call it alienation, because it was some kind of tough and sometimes also weird journey to get there where we are today. So maybe before we start, I have some questions for you. Did somebody check his energy bill in the last 6 months? Yeah? And did you understand what's on the bill? No? You see, that's why we're doing the transformation, yeah? But I will tell a little bit more about that, yeah? Okay, so the first I will give you some context about the Salzburg AG, and for me we call it like we are a multiverse, yeah? Maybe you all know Marvel with all these different universes, and also we were thinking we are kind of multiverse. And why we are that? Because our universe number one is we have this kind of electricity, PV, telecom, internet. So that's one of our, you see it here on the slides, electromobility, water. That's our, let's say, main business, what we are doing, yeah? So we're selling electricity, we're selling telecom, and you see also here on the right some numbers. So we're around about 2 million users. We are in Salzburg Land, that's a kind, in Germany we would say Bundesland, yeah? We have these households, and we are in a kind of transformation and to get into this also new products, not only to sell energy. Yeah? So that's universe number one. Yeah? And if I'm jump to universe two, then we have also public transportation in Salzburg, and we have this kind of electrical buses, which is called Obus. Yeah? So for years, we have these buses and public transportation, and that's our second business. Yeah. The third one is tourism. So we have 5 attractions. We call it the 5 treasures, where you can go to a sea which is called Wolfgangsee. So it's a really lovely country. You can go there, can make a vacation. It's a great place. But that's also a complete different kind of users, different kind of customers where we have there. Yeah? Because the other one, the universe one, it was more about, okay, the people who are living there. And here we have a lot of tourists, so a completely different story. If we, as inside of the company, how we're dealing with that, yeah. And also we have a third one. I didn't talk about it, but it's a grid company. So you see, we have a lot of different things we're doing. We're doing this kind of tourism, public transportation, energy, water, gas, electricity. So you see, that's a really a kind of, yeah. In Germany, we would say it's a mix of different business areas. Yeah. And that makes it sometimes a little bit complex because you have different people working. Yes, you have people who are working in public transportation. It's a completely different mindset than people coming from the energy business. And also tourism is something completely different. So there are a lot of different cultures inside of the company. So, and I will start my journey or my story about this kind of, okay, we were landing number one of the alien, and the landing of the alien number one, that was me. So in 2018, I came to Salzburg AG as CIO and CDO in a double role. And I came from industrial business. So I worked before 18 years in a robotic business, industrial robots. And then I moved into an energy company. Yeah? And that was, I already know, okay, a little bit what about energy sector. But for me, it's kind of alien. Because, you know, in the energy sector, the first thing, you have to come out of the energy business if you are going in this position. I was not in the energy, had no understanding of energy. I came from industry. The second one was I was not from internal. Usually all these companies say, first internal people who can raise in the company, and then we look maybe for external people. So I was from external. And the third, what happens to me, and that was what I figured out later, it was like, oh, you are a German in Austria. So, oh, a German. You would say it like, ein Deutscher. Yeah, and you're not sure if you've been in Austria or living there, but there's some kind of fighting on the border side, Germany, Austria. It's a kind of funny story about that, yeah. So I was really feeling there when I get in, I'm an alien, yeah. So it was all this bashing a little bit and this kind of, yeah, fooling around with the German thing, but okay, no electricity or energy knowledge, yeah. Not from internal, not raised there for 20 years in the company, and also from different countries. So that was some kind of weird also for the guys who worked there. And my landing zone was this office. And I have it now black-white. Usually would say it would be like wooden. It was a 50 square meter office on the corner. I have two ladies in front sitting, protecting me from the world. And that's what I get in, yeah. And the first day I get in, they put me into this office, they closed the door, and it was silence. And I said, okay, that feels really strange. The next day I came into the company and said, okay, please don't close the door. I want to feel my team, I want to see somebody, I want to have interaction, yeah? So that was the first landing there, and also you have here some kind where you can wash your hands. It was really classical 90s style office, yeah? That was so my first impression when I came there. And where it was, yeah, kind of strange for the first time, yeah. And, the next thing, wait a moment. Yeah. Then as a CIO, you check the kind of technology you have in such a company. And you know, if you have this kind of different universes, then you have a lot of different kind of systems, yeah? But everything in the end goes to monoliths of IT system. One big database, one application, everybody's on this application, yeah? And then was one monolith for tourism, there was one monolith for the energy, and it was like, okay, I would say not the kind how you build software today, yeah? I will not talk about brands or names, but if everything was monolithic and everything took really long if you want to adapt something in the IT infrastructure. Yeah. So in the first 6-8 months, we hardened the security things with these kind of major standard things, and we're still struggling today with this kind of monolith systems, because today, if you're looking for new software, you're going with microservices, with headless systems, all these new things, yeah. And here was really old style software. And what I figured out, especially in the energy sector, sometimes you feel their software there is 40 or 50 years old and nobody changed it at all. Yeah? And that's something that really gives you some, how to say that, it's really hard then to change something because you have to get rid of all the systems to have something more modern and new. Yeah? But that is what we figured out. Okay, we have this kind of IT architecture. On the other hand, it really starts in 2018, 2019, these 4D topics. So it was about, okay, you come here, bring digitalization. Let's go for that, yeah. Then we have this really mega trend of decarbonization, yeah. So get out of oil, get out of gas, look for renewables, yeah. How can we change the business, yeah? PV panels, wind turbines. We have in Austria a lot of hydropower, but also we are still getting a lot of energy or gas from Russia, yeah. And it's a kind of transformation also for the company in these new business models, yeah. Then a big topic is decentralization, which also happens to our customers because you now have a lot of prosumers and consumers. So the consumers are the people who only use energy or electricity, and then we have the prosumers, which have a PV panel or something else, but they're also consuming, and you have this kind of people want to be more flexible in that, yeah. And the first topic is kind of demography, because you know if you have your workforce and you have people, and the companies here have people who are really long in the companies, and you don't have too much people in with young people, so no fresh blood, because it's always we only look for internal people. So before we hire somebody from external, we take people from inside, yeah, and that's really there's nothing which is really moving in the company, yeah. So that was the mega trends where we really start. Okay, how can we deal with that, and what can we do? And then we start in 2019, and we call it takeoff number 1, where we say, okay, let's start a digitalization project or program. Let's how we can move on the company. Sorry for that. And when we start then to talk about, okay, how can we make it better? How can we change it? And what will be new? Then we figured out really quick, okay, there's something, we speak a completely different language. Because when we got in, sorry for that. I have to go a little bit quicker that. Then you start to talk about headless systems. You talk about microservices. We start to talk about cloud. In 2018, it was a no cloud policy. So it was, okay, we don't go into the cloud. We stay everything on-prem. We don't use the cloud, yeah? And we also start to talk about APIs. And the question was, okay, what's an API and what is headless, yeah? And also we start, okay, we have to work more agile. And was the question, okay, what is agile, yeah? Or what is UI, UX? What are call to actions on the internet page, and all these things there were really no knowledge about it, yeah. And I have this story, and I have a lot of stories. The one when I went to the HR department and said, okay, hey guys, you would like to hire a Scrum Master. And then the HR partner looks at me and said, what's a Scrum Master? Yeah, that really happens to me, yeah. Yeah. And I have a lot of this kind of small weird stories which I will tell you now, yeah. So you say first you have to understand, to train the people and tell them, okay, what's a headless system? How are microservices working? What's an agile concept? What's a Scrum Master? Yeah, so it was a lot of transformation and give the people the knowledge. And we're still today fighting about this, yeah, to give them, okay, software and IT really changed a lot, yeah. Also the work style is changing a lot. So it was first really hard to bring everything on the same level, yeah. Anyway, so then, I have to Scrum. So we started this kind of, I call it release number 1. We say, okay, let's move IT not to look on a cost perspective on it. So we go with IT should be more value driven. What can we do for the company? How can we bring really value to our internal customers, to the external customers, and how can we really drive also the business? So that was the first topic. Yeah? The second was, okay, let's strengthen the user experience. So we have to be much better in our systems so the people really like to work with it. Yeah? If you have some, let's say, shitty user interface, nobody wants to work with it. Yeah? We also said, okay, after 4 weeks, we now go into the cloud. And we signed then with the executive board really quick. Okay, let's jump into the cloud. Let's go with Microsoft Azure. Let's do that. And then I was on vacation. And when I came back from vacation, everybody told me, hey, Kristijan, stop it. They are the lawyers. You cannot go into the cloud. So then we have to go back. And we took the guys from Deloitte, Austria this time. And we did a 6 months risk assessment to then at the end say, yes, we will go into the cloud. Yeah? And that happened when I was on vacation. Yeah, there was also some weird thing what happened. Okay, you're coming back and okay, there's something completely changed. Yeah? And for change management, we took the whole management team to Amsterdam and showed them the Microsoft Azure Service Center, the cloud center, to give them the really guide the feeling, look, there's big companies doing big things, and we as a small Salzburg AG, we can trust these guys, yeah? So it was really kind of really change management, yeah? Yeah, we start enterprise architecture, we start to do the security, and then what's one of my major topics today, then we start, okay, how can we build digital products? And especially in this time, it was really hard for me because on one hand, you are the CIO, and you have to take really care about the PC, the firewall, all the servers, everything should run. On the other hand, you start, okay, let's do a digital lab and build digital products. Yeah, because it was all, okay, let's how we can do that, yeah. And that was really tough. We have then this kind of digital lab. We hired people. We started with innovation department together to think about things, what could be possible. And there was also the question about, okay, if you do digital products, should it be then something which is really close to the core business, like energy, electricity, whatever, or should it be something completely different? Yeah? And there were also a lot of discussions. Should we do that? Why should we do this? We are having do a lot of business. We have a good margin. Why should we change it? Yeah, but I will tell later about that. Yeah, and the last topic was then to go agile and DevOps. So we changed completely, restructured the whole department. Yeah, into DevOps teams. Yeah, which was also really hard because also for the people to understand that's not like there's a project and there's operations. Yeah, so it's DevOps to work together. It was also really hard, and it takes 8 years to convert these teams into the real working in DevOps, yeah. But that was our first approach, which we did about 2 years, yeah. And then was always the question, when we start this project, okay, how can you measure if a company is digital or not, yeah? And out of that, then we started with a kind of KPI set, yeah, especially for the controlling guys and everybody, to say, okay, how can we measure a company get digital? And then we find these KPIs were we defined. And we said, okay, we'll explain you a little bit. So say, okay, how often do you really have a product release, yeah? Could be one. I will not go through all KPIs, don't worry, yeah. And one very important thing, this one, how much background has your team? Do you have really digital natives, people who really understand it? Or do you have people who you have to really train, which are doing, let's say, some other stuff, and you have to now to transform that, yeah? That was a big thing. And also, do we have like revenue for digital channels, yeah? And we bring this list here up and these KPIs and say, look here, that's some standard, what we see. There are maybe leaders, which can be the big digital dragons like Amazon or whatever. And we as a company, the right one is the digital native companies like Amazon, Google. And then we said, okay, we have to figure out what are the KPIs we should define for us as a company. Yeah? Yeah? And that was really hard because, as I told you, there's public transportation, there's tourism, energy. That's a lot of different things, how you can see that. Yeah. But that was a little bit guiding and telling the people, okay, look, that you understand it. Also, if you're working then internal and you have, let's say, workflows, processes that we say, okay, look here, how often do we have really this kind of, where it is, manual interventions? Yeah, do we have full automatic process? Do we have some people who are really doing it manual by hand? Yeah, That was also what we really say, we have to check that, yeah. Anyway, that was our little bit guideline to talk to the management and to give them an understanding how a company should work to be future-proven, yeah. Yeah, and I will give you now some updates and tell you show you some results what happened in the years when we did the digital transformation. The first thing what we did was really quick. We built a new web page, yeah. Because why? The old one was typo 3. It was not responsible. It was this web page still you can improve a lot, yeah. But it was the first thing what we did, that we really showed the customer, hey, there's something we want to change, yeah. So we bring in more content. We did it responsive. That was one of the first projects. And also the funny story was then we want to start, and there was a go live date, something in June. And then the project man told me, no, we will go not live in June. And I said, what? Yeah, because we have some problems. Okay, and when will we go live? Yeah, we don't know exactly. And really nobody cares. It was like, okay, it doesn't matter, we can go now live, we can go in 6 months live, we can go in 3 weeks live, and really nobody cares about it, yeah? The business where I was before, if I would not go live, I have the next day a meeting with the board and they will ask me what's going on here, yeah? But here was like, oh yeah, well, maybe later, we don't know, let's see what will happen, yeah? That's also what was really, really strange for me, yeah? I don't know why. And then what we then also start, and that's now, I think, a really good service, we start then also to start with e-commerce. Yeah? With e-commerce, because we say, okay, we have the telecom products, and that's what we did together with Deloitte to go into this project. And we said, okay, we have now here Greenfield. We never did some e-commerce before. And there we have to really say, let's do it really, really good. So we started then with headless systems. We used commerce tools. We did this kind of the guided selling topics in, because you know it's not like a retail shop. You have to do it completely different. Yeah. We used the headless cloud native system. Everything was in the cloud. The only thing what then happened, it took us really long. Yeah. It took us long, not because we didn't know what to do, but because also we have this kind of transformation inside of the project. We have to transform the people and explain everything. How we have to write the text, how we have to do the pictures, what is guided selling, how we can make an availability check, because usually in this business you only have to give you an address and then you see what kind of internet you can get. Yeah? So it really takes long, but not because it was something of the project team. It was really because it was always a kind of change management in these projects. Always, yeah? And Tim, yeah? Yeah. And here you see some examples. I think there's a lot of things you can still improve. We have, you know, if you're in telecom business or energy, then you have all these lawyers. And they're always talking with you about which text, what should be therein, what is legal, proven, what not. That's a really long process, yeah? It's not like you can make your price and go for it, yeah. So we started that, and we're still working on this project because we want to bring all our products in an e-commerce solution, yeah. But I will show you later what is our big vision. And the one thing that what we were really proud was that because I told you before about digital products. And what you see here is not a digital product. It's a locker box. Yeah? But we did a kind of innovation challenge. And we have this, there was one startup, I think they were from Munich. And we say, okay, we are in a city like Salzburg. We have all this ground available. Let's see if we can use these locker boxes, put it on the train station, put it there where there's tourism. And let's see if this will be something which really will work, yeah? And we have a startup, and we checked the software of the startup and said, okay, guys, hey, that's not done in a good way. Let's do it. We will program and develop the software on our own. And then what we did, we bought some kind of locker. we really developed the whole software in the cloud. So it's a cloud-native solution. And we started with the first 10, 20, 30 boxes in Austria. And the business grows. And the first customer which is on the slide was Lidl. So Lidl decided, okay, yeah, we will take the box in front of our stores. It makes sense to do it, yeah. And what really happened and what the good thing was, we built it as an open ecosystem. So we said, okay, it's not like only for one brand or for one customer. We will say, every customer can use this locker box. And then we start with Lidl, then DPD, we added DPD, then GLS, DHL, UPS, all the time, all these customers came. We have this kind of really of an ecosystem, yeah, which every guy delivers his package into the box, and the people can pick it up, yeah. And currently we have 400 boxes, locations in Austria, and I think we have now the first 20 or 30 now in Germany, so we are now expanding to Germany. And now it's its own company. So last year we make this kind of company building. And also in January this year, the guys get then this kind of investment money by a big VC. And that was now the kind of proof for the management that we can really do something different than only energy or public transportation or whatever, yeah. And that was really a nice story for us because we were still everybody will really get proven all the time. Do we really want to spend the money in? Do you really think you can build the software? It was always all the financial guys asked us all the time, yeah. And now we have here a really good running business. We're expanding out of Austria, and that was for us a really success, yeah. But it was a really hard way to go there, yeah. We have in 4 weeks, we have always meetings with the management, and we have to tell them, okay, guys, we're still believing in that. We have these customers, and it's going forward. But it was always 4 weeks a kind of, do you really think you can do that? Yeah. And also internal of the whole company, a lot of people asked and questioned us about this project. Why we're doing that? It's not energy business. It's nothing, they will not fit into our universes. It's logistic and so on, yeah. So, and for me, that was that we really are taking the risk, and we taking the risk to really to build it, and believed in that, yeah. And also the team was really, because what then happened, when these guys then they really get successful, then they started to, they really built really big barriers around this project team, because they said we don't want to work with the rest of the company together because the company is too slow, they don't understand us, we always get questioned, we want to be independent. So and then it's really start to get a fight, yeah. And the guys, I would say, they break almost every rule in the company which was possible, yeah. If it was talking about a standard process, how to hire people. It was a standard process, okay, how you do sales. So the team only gets successful because they broke all the rules in the big corporate business, yeah. And that was, yeah, a really strange time, because then you have to go always to the executive committee or the executive board and then tell them, okay, yeah, we did something which was not really correct. We apologize for it, but we are moving on, yeah. So we did that 2 years. And then there was, and I call it the space invader phase, yeah, because now really the big change begins. After these 2 years of doing this digital transformation, doing new things, then there was inside of the company and with the executive board together, okay, we really changed the whole company. And that means we really did a completely new structure of the whole company, and every manager, second and third level, have to renew his contract, and he was a kind of, we proved every manager in the company if he's the right person, yeah. So every has to attend of his job new. So everybody, first line, second and third line, yeah, of the organization chart was okay, was proven, all the management. And then really the fight starts, because, you know, if you're there for 20 years and then you say, okay, I was the manager, or business unit manager for whatever, and now still not sure if I'm still in the company the next years or I will get in the same position. And this kind is called the Space Invader thing happens 1 year. So we analyze the company for 3 to 4 months, and then the whole transformation into a new organization took us 1 year. Yeah. So we hired new people, we faded people out of the company. It was call it like, you see, you're shooting, and it was really hard, yeah. But that really gives us the power to really bring new blood into the company and to really work on the transformation of the company, yeah. And then we have this kind of transformation, everything was moving, and then the first thing what then happened was COVID. Yeah? So that was the first thing, and also there I have to tell a story because in 2018 we start to deploy Teams in the company, and the people told me, Teams, why are you doing that? Nobody needs it. Yeah, you're only burning money. Yeah, so I really talked to the financial officer. Hey, Kristijan, stop that. Yeah. And 2019 then with COVID, everyone was really happy that we have the Teams running and set it up. So because we sent one day 1,500 employees to the home office, yeah. So that was also because before we had around 300 Teams users, which was mostly IT, yeah, but nobody used Teams before, yeah. But then with COVID, this really pushes a lot of things, also digital signatures and other stuff, yeah. But what then happens, and that was exactly when we did this transformation now, you see that this is the energy price. And you see it's not stable. There is the COVID time, and I think you are aware of that, then the energy price raises. Yeah? And that was really, really hard for us. And only to give you an understanding, so we are talking about 2.1 million revenue. And I think this year, I'm not sure, but we will have the 4 billion revenue. Not because we are selling more, but because the prices are changing. Yeah? And also give you a little bit understanding about the energy market, because there's a lot of things going on in the press. And there are a lot of saying, oh, we as Germany, we have to do this. We as Austria, we have to do that. But at the end, it's a European topic. You cannot do something because everything is related. The whole energy market and everything is connected and aligned in Europe. So you cannot do it only by one land, yeah, or by one country, yeah. Yeah, and also that then affects and I will talk later about that, our digital products, because we have some other digital products in our mind, and we start to develop it, and then was a question raised, hey, you cannot do this product because, you know, the price is so up, we cannot charge a customer for more money, yeah? So that was also then a really, really weird discussion, or let's say a good discussion, because we have to really understand the customer. We cannot charge what we want. Yeah, we have to really see that the customer survives with the energy bills. Yeah, that's why I also asked before. Yeah, and you see now we are back from the high, but we are still double like where we came from, where we're coming from. Yeah. And so it's still a big issue for a lot of industries, for a lot of people outside, customers. So, okay, how can they survive if energy bills are going so high, yeah? And there's still things we are thinking about how we can work on that, yeah? But the effect, only to give you a little bit insights, the electricity price, it's related to the gas price. So that's in Austria. If the gas price is high, the electricity price is also high, yeah? That's a really easy story, yeah, for Austria. Yeah. So that was really, which hits us really hard also, how we will develop the company in the next steps. So, but whatever, next what then happens, we said, okay, let's release 2. We have now this new organization, we have new people on board, and then we decided for a few things, which I think was really important. The first thing what we really did, we decoupled legacy IT and digital products. We really said separate that in 2 business units. The one guys really concentrate on SIP, on internal topics, on the laptop, whatever you have in your company. And the one other department really works on digital products, platforms, and everything what is related to the customer. So all the web-facing applications like apps, app to charge the car, portals, e-commerce. So we really split that into 2 different departments. Yeah, there's still something where we work together, but the important thing is, and now I know I'm responsible for the digital products, and also for me as a person and as a manager, it was really now was a completely different story, because now you can concentrate on exactly this topic. Yeah. On the other hand, you always, okay, there's a PC, there's some problems with the PCs, maybe some installations, Windows 11, whatever, yeah? There are always things in your mind which you really, you don't have the real focus on building products, yeah? And so that was, I think, a good decision to separate that. And also here, in the second one, you have a different speed and also a different kind of working, because you don't look for efficiency. You look more for, okay, how can I get a product into the market and can I have a product successful? So that's why we built then the business unit Digital Solutions. We took the innovation department, put them also in this business unit. And then we said, okay, the whole infrastructure, and maybe you can remember the monolith, is not working for us. So we built a completely new infrastructure in the cloud for our digital products. Infrastructure as a service, Terraform, CI/CD pipelines, everything what we need to be really quick in developing software. Yeah, that's what we built. Yeah, and we built dedicated product teams. So we say, no, there's the business and there's IT, or the developers really put this together. Say, hey, you are now responsible. You have to build this product. And later I will show you some pictures from the teams, because I'm not alone. So there are a lot of people behind it. Yeah. And how we split it exactly, that is, can show you on this slide, because that's a kind of small framework which I use if you talk about digitalization and how you can improve. And I'll give you a little bit of explanation. So you have the infrastructure, cloud, mobile, security, everything what you need to run the business. And then in my world, you have the digital workplace. That's a PC, everything what you need, Teams, Office 365, whatever you're using. Then you have this process analytics. So that's how you can make processes internal in your company better. And you have how to measure it. And you can only, if you don't have the measure points, you can't measure with analytics. So that's why we put this together. So that's the internal view. And the external was, okay, build completely new business models from the scratch, or extend already products you already have, extend it with digital capabilities. Yeah, which could be, okay, I will sell it now with e-commerce, or I will give an app. Yeah, so we are talking about, let's say, dynamic electricity tariffs, which the customer can get an app and see, okay, how is the energy is working, what's the pricing. Yeah, and on the top of that, you have this kind of, okay, you need a different kind of culture and mindset to work on that. Yeah. So we really try to improve how to be more agile, to use lean startup methods, and also this stuff that you get really faster, yeah. But you also need this kind of people, yeah. So you cannot take, let's say, an IT guy who worked for, let's say, 20 years in SAP and tell him, oh, now you're the new digital one, let's build products, and because the mindset is completely different, yeah. That will never work, yeah. Because I'm doing this now for almost 20 years, and it's never worked, yeah. So we split it really here. The left side was digital solutions, focusing on products. The right side was, okay, the corporate IT took all the other standards, other topics, yeah. And now I will tell you a little bit about the new department. So I call it, we built the alienation, or if you're a Marvel fan, you know Wakanda. There's a small country in the middle of Africa, which have this really big, nice technology, yeah, and sometimes we also feel like Wakanda, yeah, because we have the guys, we say, oh, we don't need Excel, let's do it really quick in Microsoft in Power BI, or if that's, oh, let's build a bot really quick for this solution, yeah. So it's really people who have a little bit of knowledge, so that's why we feel a little bit like the Wakanda guys, yeah. And that's now the big digital solutions. And you see here, that's my team, my head of development, my head of innovation, head of digital business. We are the four who are working really close together. Also, you can remember this office with 50 square meters. Now we're sitting together in one room. I don't have a separate office. I'm in the middle with my leadership team. We are together, and we are really talking every day, how can we do things, yeah? So no separation in rooms, no separations, and also they have this kind of, we trust each other, and we really want to talk about everything, yeah? And sometimes you have really to think about things, yeah, what happens and what's going on, yeah? And also that was things where the team said, okay, we want to have, let's say, Apple hardware, yeah? And also those are big discussion inside of the company, yeah? No? So now we have a special thing because we are, you know, that what we're doing is data-driven business models. And now we are here, and that's maybe a little bit frustrating in Germany because usually you don't have this device. That's a smart meter. In Austria, everybody currently gets a smart meter. Everybody. And what we are doing mostly is we're taking data out of this device and try to build business models from the smart meter. Because here we're getting 15-minute values about the electricity consumption. And we really look, what can we do with this data? And that is really important for us. If you don't have data, it's really hard to do any kind of digital business model, yeah? So we are happy guys in Austria because we have this device, and we are really trying to get this data. We're trying also to get real-time data out of this device, but that's where you can really, as a customer, get really transparency about your energy consumption, yeah? And you have data which you can really work on and use it, yeah, for apps, for products, whatever, yeah. So we are really happy on that because most everything we're doing, we're building on that. And a second story. I'm not sure if you know all this kind of innovation departments, digital departments in all the companies, yeah. My experiences, a lot of innovation departments, digital units, 3 years, 5 years, 8 years, it's long, and then somebody cut it down. Because you have only POCs, you have only maybe small MVPs, but you really don't get it on the market. Most time you build a POC and then you hear the guy from the line, here, take it over department, we built something nice, take it, but not invented here, nobody will take it, yeah? So if you build such a department or business unit, you must sometimes, you know, if this meet goes 5 years or how long. So that's why we decided we will do 2 things in this department. On the left hand, we do something for the core business. We're doing the web pages, the apps, we're doing the portals, we're doing the loyalty programs, everything what the customer can use, we're doing this, 50%. And on the other 50%, we're working on new products. And that is our, let's say, a deal that we have this some kind doing really work and bring value to the core business. Nobody says, oh, you're only the guys who are doing something really strange things. And maybe in 5 years you don't make enough money, close this department, yeah. So that's why we decided to split this into 2 things. Here we are the internal service provider for our marketing and our sales guys, sales departments. And on the other hand, we are building really the new things, yeah. That was the idea how we can manage that better, yeah. And we are still stay really close to the core business. Otherwise, you get too much independent, yeah. And because to build new digital product, you need really time. It's nothing that you say, okay, in 1 year you have a break even and that's it, yeah. Especially if you're in the energy sector, it's really hard. Yeah. And also you have these regulations, yeah, which is really hard. Yeah. You cannot do whatever you want. You have to always check with, in Austria it's called e-control, or with the lawyers if you do something in the energy sector. Yeah. Wie viel ist denn Uhrzeit? Bitte? 20 nach? Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. So, and as I told you on the left rocket, we started with build the website new, let's build e-commerce and what we're doing now. And that's also what we figured out, okay, how can we better give the people that they better understand what we're doing. Yeah. And what we now change is the style. We don't write requirements. That maybe in a phase we do it, but what we do now is, before we do anything of software solution, we really make a kind of mock-up, a high-fidelity mock-up to show the internal people what we want to achieve, and we show to the customer. That is now our, let's say, standard approach. Yeah? Because also internally, if I'm talking to whatever, I want to build some app, a lot of people will looking at me and saying, Kristijan, I don't understand what you were building there. Still, so that's why we always build a visualization, mostly in Figma, and show, look here, you can click, and yet you can see on what we want to achieve. And that really gives us a good feedback, because then the people say, oh, that is what you built. Ah, okay, now I get it. Yeah. That's why we say we don't want to tell, let's show it and show really what you want to achieve. I think that's a really good method that you really also bring people who are not so digital, or don't have this kind of understanding how you build an app or whatever, to bring the guys on board. Yeah. Yeah, and what we are now building, as I told you, e-commerce, web page now, and if you know all the banking apps, well, currently what we now start, we want to have this kind of energy app, like a banking app for our customer. That's what we want to build now, and therefore I have a really small video that you got a feeling about how this looks like. And that is our design. Let's see if the sound. No sound? Ah, okay. I don't have it, okay? Thanks. Okay, and we're using that kind of animations or click dummies to first to pitch it to the executive committee or the executive management, using also for people who internally, like finance guys and so on, to show them, okay, that we want to build. And we also try to give this to the customer and say, hey, what do you think about that? Yeah, is this something that will help you? And that's really, I think, approach that I have the feeling that is now the last 2 years really good, that you have this kind of visualizations. Yeah. And also, I think we are the only utility company in Austria that I know which has really own UI UX designers. Yeah. And it's also hard to explain the HR department what's new UI UX design, why we need these guys. Yeah. So, on the other hand, you know, that was now for internal. And for external, we really try to build a kind of energy platform, which is really related to green tech. And you see here, well, that was one of the first drafts, but the vision is, okay, one platform for all our green tech services, yeah, to be really to have the future of energy on one platform, because currently there's nothing like that available on the market. And you know, there's the smart meters. And out of that, you can make a lot of crazy things. Yeah? And also by laws in Austria, you have this kind of EEG in German, Erneuerbare Energiegemeinschaften, renewable energy communities, which you can trade your energy with your neighbor. Yeah, and I will give you later a picture about that, and you will see it right now. And also now some pictures, some slides there in that you see a little bit the people who are working in our department. And if sometimes I get really people from other departments coming by and discussing and tell me, "Hey Kristijan, your team is so young, yeah, in compare to the rest of the company, yeah." We're really coming and people say, "Oh, they feel people come there really feel old if they're coming in our department, yeah." That's only what I can say. Sometimes it's really strange, yeah. And what we're building is that what you see here on the slide. It's a kind of a small ecosystem. You see on the one hand we have the private houses with PV. We have houses without PV. We have industry with PV. You have electromobility. And all together is for us it's a system, an ecosystem. And we don't care if it's B2C or B2B in this scenario. Because I have today customers, this guy is producing energy in his company from Monday to Friday, and Saturday, Sunday, he gives his energy to his neighbors. And there's a defined contract that he sells the energy for 10 cents, or some they also get it for free. So if I don't use my PV for my production, I give it to my neighbors. That is what currently in Austria is possible. It should be also possible in Germany. I think the laws in the EU are from 2019, but I think it's not established here, yeah. And what we are building, that is our ecosystem. We start to build, come on. Sorry. There's one, I don't know what there. So we started to build these energy communities. There where I told you, behind one trafo station in your neighborhood, you can share energy, you can define a contract, you can say, okay, that's the price is 0 cents, 6 cents, you can say 30 cents, whatever you want, and you can share the energy with your neighbors, yeah? One prosumer, consumer. It's like Airbnb. You have a guy who has no PV, the other one has a PV, bring these guys together, and you can sell the energy to your neighbor. Yeah, that's what we are now building. And also that took us really long, not because of the software, yeah, also software I will tell later, but also to get the contracts, because you have to make an association, ein Verein, and then you can do that. Yeah, so we started with 2 prototype communities in one municipality with about 20 people, and second with 5 people, and we see okay how that really worked out. But to build the software for that was a really hard way to go. It took us to build a software from the scratch. With that I told you before, infrastructure as a service, Kubernetes cluster, microservices, real microservices. The design, like the micro front-end design and so on, it took us 2 years. First of all, to hire all the people, to bring it together, to align it on the one product. It was a really hard process to do that. Yeah, that's why I understand why Kristijan from VW also have some trouble sometimes. Yeah, it's really hard if you've never been in software before in such a classical company. It's a completely different business. Yeah. So that's what we're doing, the energy communities. We call it Enoch Share. I don't know. Maybe the battery. Then what we're also doing is it's called Bürger Energiegemeinschaft. It's a regional energy community. So that means you can produce your energy in Vienna and you can use it in Salzburg. Yeah, so that is what we're also building now. Yeah. And there are a lot of things you can build on top of that. We built an energy coach where we show the people, okay, how is the energy price together, how you can use it, a little bit more a kind of education app. Sorry for that, I have to. Then currently what we're really discussing is energy monitoring for municipalities and for customers. Also we're looking, can we get some kind of real-time data? And the idea is to use energy monitoring not as a kind of industrial solution, which is really expensive, more about can we build a software which is in the consumer pricing, so everybody can use it, yeah. Within all these new technologies, cloud and so on, it's possible to do that. And we believe in that, yeah. Then we have still the discussion about charging. We know everybody's coming with the electromobility, and we're also checking out what's coming with vehicle to grid. So can we use the vehicle battery maybe later on? Yeah, but that's a big effect with our customers. We are looking for dynamic pricing combined with the own PV. We did some kind of, let's say, virtual pricing for that. Then we are looking, if we have the energy communities, can we share the battery storage maybe in one community? That will also maybe be a nice business case. And the funny story, if you have the smart meters, you can change the completely billing of an energy utility company, because you have data from 15 minutes every day, every month, and you don't have to have this kind of Abschlagszahlung. You can say, I can give you every month the bill with the real data. Yeah, and that is something which we could change. Let's see that it will happen, but that's also things we really want to discuss with our business guys, yeah, which are doing this kind of one of the year invoice where you get and you say, okay, what happens 12 months before? I don't know. Yeah, and also maybe let's go for SDKs for partners. And we have one special topic with retail partners to say, can we do there also some kind of data analytics for retails? Yeah, because you have a lot of shops and you have to maybe also manage energy there better. That's a little bit what we think about, what we see in the future. If you talk about what could be an energy platform, so that's our vision overall. And as I told you before, we don't work like in a room and let's bring a product out and then we'll see. We always work with customers, yeah. So what we really tried to, that you see, that was a fair, I think 2021, where we first showed every customer our ideas, what we want to build, what we want to achieve, to get some feedback. And you see the funny story here, you see the green tech company. So we also started to change the claim in the name of the company. We now put it out because of public transportation and for tourism it is not working. So we have to find a new claim currently. But for, let's say, almost 2 years, we have this green tech company because that's what we want, what we're aiming for. Yeah. You see, so there was a lot of change, cultural change also inside of the company. Yeah. But also, you know, if you are in this kind of change management, and so we also left people. Yeah. Because the pressure was so high. You have to always explain why you're doing that. People are asking you all the time, why do you want to do this? Our business is going so well and everything is fine. Why should we change something? Yeah. And especially like here, Julia, she left us because they said the pressure is too much. Yeah. To talk with, let's say, with the rest of the company. Yeah. Here I only show you a kind of, that's our software we are using for energy communities. I only bring it that you see, get a feeling about the software. So we really be really simple and clear what we're building, because you see here the kind of last profile. Usually the standard customer don't understand what's that. So you have to have a really simple UI, UX, and we have to give the customer recommendations. Yeah. So that's why we're really focusing on a good UI, UX. To give really the customers a possibility to understand what we're doing and to use the software, yeah. And that's why I told you our energy coach, what we built, the EVA, where we build, okay, where you can see, especially if you have dynamic pricing, you can build up your own ecosystem. Currently we have also to Luxon, there's an interface, but also to give the customer a better understanding and a better using of apps. Yeah, that's why we're looking to work this kind of nice designs. Yeah, and also see some people behind, because only me. So that's the EVA team, people who are working on that. Yeah. Also, what we're doing is we don't have this kind of let's make a 1-year timeline and then have milestones and see. Here is what we say, we plan only for 3 months. We plan for 3 months with OKRs. We have our Scrum cycles. And the funny story is, if you then go to your executive board and say, we can't tell you exactly what we're doing the next year. We only tell you what we're doing the next 3 months. Then you have silence in the room. Because the actuary said, okay, you have this budget. Why can't you tell me what we do in 6 months and in 12 months? And I said, no, I can't. And I would not tell you. We are doing 3 months. And we will see what the market, what is going on. And the next 3 months we will plan. We will have some output, but we don't know exactly what it is. And that was, with the executive board, a really hard number. Because they are used to have, there's 1-year timeline, or 2 years, or 5 years, because we built a power plant. We have 10 years timelines. Why can you not tell me what you do in 6 months? And then you have to be really in good shape and to be really good to self and say, no, we don't do that. Yeah. And that was some really interesting discussions, yeah. Here I have a picture of our agile coaches and Scrum Masters. They also have a really tough time because they're doing more change management. So it's really hard for them, for these guys. And then I have one slide that you understand a bit. Now we go really in tech. And only one slide about technology, what I mentioned before. That we have here the cloud infrastructure, microservices with micro front ends. We want to reuse it. And here on the right side, if you're a tech guy, you see a little bit the technologies we are using, yeah? And we try to use really modern technology because we want to have people who are coming to us because, oh yeah, I don't want to PHP. Let's do Svelte or do Java. That's why we really go into this tech stack, yeah? To really be really on the edge with the tech stack, so we really get the talents to us. Because it's really hard to bring developers to a utility company, yeah? Usually you're not searching there for this, yeah? So, but finally, at the end, what we did, and that's all my story, we added a new universe to the company. Yeah, that's what, at the end, what we did. Yeah, so there's energy, tourism, public transportation, and now we have the digital unit, which is only a new universe, and everybody has to deal with us. Yeah, and you have to have this kind of the respect for each other. Yeah, because the other guys making currently the money. We are currently burning the money, but we are doing the things for the future. Yeah. And to give you a little understanding about the team, so we hired 45 people. We have a gender mix of almost 50%. We have 10 nations, and we talk English. And believe me, that was a hard challenge, because I have to talk to the worker council, and they asked me, hey, why do we hire people who only speak English? Our people here will not understand it, and everybody's afraid because you hire people who speak a different language. Yeah, I had all these discussions. Yeah, yeah, but I think that's fine because we never had the chance in Salzburg to get people if we don't get into English and say let's do really. We hire from all over the world. Yeah, that's the only way how we can make this happen. Yeah. I think I don't need this anymore, it's not working. So, and my final statement to that is, and I'm not sure if you know about this formula. So if you build solutions, you need the acceptance to get the results. That's really important. And you need the acceptance internal from the whole staff, from all the employees in the company, and you need the acceptance from outside, from the customer. And it's really hard, this kind of change management. If you don't have the acceptance from internal, everybody, don't give you the budget. They will ask you all the time what's going on. So that's why the acceptance topic is really important. Wissen die Uhrzeit? 40? Okay, das kriegen wir. Okay, so that's one of my main. You really need the respect because the other guys, the guys who are, let's say, a bus driver who are in the power plant working, these guys doing a good job and they make the money. And you have to really explain them what we are doing here. And you need you have to respect of both sides. And that's the challenge. It's not about technique or whatever. It's really to say, hey, you're doing a good job, but we are also doing our job. And we have to have tolerance between inside of a company, yeah? And that's a really hard thing, yeah? So because if you build something and the whole company will not accept what you're doing, you will fail, yeah? I think that's for me the main story, yeah? And then finally, we do not only work, we also have fun, yeah? So we want to, if we go to work, we want to have a good time. We want to work, we want to trust each other. You see here the team that was at the end of our fair. So we want to have fun and want to move on and bring things forward to the next stage and the next level, yeah? So thank you very much. That was what I can tell you. And thanks. Are there some questions? Or it was now too much input? I'm not sure how that will work now.
Otherwise you can't hear the question.
Okay. Oh, eigentlich das hier?
Next.
Hello everyone. So thank you very much for the presentation. It was really like eye-opening about some things and very personal story also, so it was great to hear it. My question is, since you've mentioned that the team is mostly English-speaking one, so my question would be, how did you convince the company to trust that language is not a barrier and the skills and the personality is more important than, in this case, speaking German? I'm really curious, how did you achieve it?
Okay, let me know. Yeah, so at this time we have einen Vorstandsvorsitzenden, so the speaker of the board, and we did a lot of personal talks about it, and I have always his support to doing that. He told me, Kristijan, do whatever you need, let's do it, yeah. So if you don't have the support from the management, no chance to do it, yeah. So he said, okay, let's give him a try and see what will happen. And today also, like yesterday was coming an email about some incentives which you can get as a customer, as an employee. So what we're doing is we're putting this into DeepL, translate it, and send it into the Teams channel. Nobody from HR or somebody will translate this, so we have to do this for our employees, yeah. And that you have to go this extra mile to do it, yeah. But we have this really strong support by the management. Otherwise, no way, yeah.
Yeah, thanks a lot for the interesting presentation. You're mentioning that takes a lot of effort to building this and resources to bring in. And my question is, to make this even economically successful, probably you have to scale it beyond Salzburg. What's your point of view about that?
Yeah, for sure. So that what we're building will not work only in Salzburg. So that's why we put this into the strategy of the whole company, growth outside of Salzburg, which is really one of the main milestones in our overall strategy of the company. Because if you build this, 100%, if you build that only for Salzburg, it will not work, yeah? Yeah, so we have to build something. Let's go to, let's say, Austria, and then maybe let's see what happens in Germany. And because with the smart meters, maybe you can make it bigger. But for sure, and that's also we are aiming to that. We want to really have more than only Salzburg, yeah? Yeah, that's our goal. Like we did with the Flexbox, the same thing, yeah? We try to copy that, yeah?
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks for the great presentation. Going back to the beginning of your presentation, you said that you kind of separated the legacy IT systems and this new digital solutions unit. What happened to the to the already existing digital products or the maintenance teams that are working on those products, and there's probably also some new features or maintenance tasks. Did you integrate them into the new processes of this new unit? Because I imagine they're quite different for totally new products.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so what we did, first about the staff, people are moved into the new department, but also people went back to the old department, so that was a kind of forwards backwards, till we have a kind of really good situation. And today we're still doing maintenance of the web page, and so we have also have this, yeah. So it's a kind. Our guys said that they're not really happy to do the maintenance of this topics. Yeah. So we have to really build to get everything in a one tech stack and to really full automatically. Yeah. But it's we still have to maintain it. Yeah. Yeah. But the funny story was people are saying, yeah, we go into the digital solutions department, everything's fine. And after 3 months, they told us, no, one guy, I will go back. That's too stressed. That's too much for me. And then I know, Gary, you know, that 3 or 4 people, they got back into the old because they said, okay, that's not our world. We want to stay in real IT. We don't want to go all this product and then sales topics. We want to go back. That is not our world. Yeah. Yeah.
Thanks. To your point there, you mentioned the energy transformation and you also saw the wholesale prices on the energy market. How do you see the role of your department, digital solutions, in helping the core business of managing the energy transformation, where energy production becomes much more volatile, but you also have the data of the smart meter? So how you see your role, and also the value probably is quite high for the company.
On that, I have 2 answers. The one what we see is, let's say, the energy community, where we see this as a kind of, in Salzburg, the churn rate of the customer is 3%. So we don't have too much movement there. People are staying with us, but we see this as a loyalty project, the energy community. So if they are going to our energy community, we all stay as a customer for energy. And we have also, let's say, one company in Vienna, they are doing energy sale for the whole Austria to get there in, but I believe 100%, if you don't move into that, you will not survive as a utility company. Because now there will be in the next 2 years CSR coming, so corporate responsibility and social and responsibility. So we'll be as a company completely transparent about everything what we're doing. So you cannot do greenwashing anymore. You have the CO2 footprint, and who will buy the energy from you if you have, let's say, fossil? And then you have then your CO2 footprint as a company, as a vendor, as a customer. You will not sell the energy anymore. So for us, it's clear if we don't move into that. And I did not talk about the climate change and all these other things, yeah, because in my opinion, but that's my personal opinion, I was really kind of concerned because you see, you have this kind, if you're a company, you never do a vendor lock-in. But we have in France a vendor lock-in with the nuclear. We have a vendor lock-in in Austria with gas. And in a normal company, you will never go in this kind of vendor lock-in. You will always say, let's spread the risk in different technologies, yeah? For me, it's really crazy, yeah? And yeah, we will see, but I think that's the only way. If you don't do the change, you will not survive in the business, yeah? And therefore, that's why we have to always explain what we're doing and why we're doing that, yeah? Yeah. But they're saying, I'm not sure if we will make money with that, but it's a kind of, if you don't move in that, yeah, you will not do business anymore, yeah? Wie spät haben wir's? Müssen wir los, oder?
So, thank you for the presentation. One question, you said that... Is it on?
Yeah.
Yeah. You said that you're currently burning money still. What were your arguments that you get all the investments? Are you creating money in the future? Do you have any calculations in 5 or 10 years that you get all the investments back?
Yeah, that's always a big discussion, our Wirtschaftlichkeitsplan. So can you estimate that you make in 10 years money? I tell you, yeah, I can make some plans, but I'm not sure if we will achieve it, yeah? Currently, it's really easy with energy community. Most people are so afraid if we will not do it, some vendors, some other guys will come into our area and sell the energy communities. And then if you sell the energy communities, then maybe later they will also take the energy from this company. So there's a kind more afraid, or, oh, if we don't do it, somebody else will do it, yeah? Yeah. And that's why I have these 2 rockets to say, okay, we still help the core business to develop, So there is some kind of internal money coming in. And on the other hand, sure, we have to do our business plan, and we see, okay, that will happen maybe in 5 or in 6 or in 7 years. But also today, and I talked to the finance, hey, if you build a power plant, sometimes 50 years, 80 years till this plant is back, that you get the money back. So we have the same discussion, so on long term, yeah. But it's still a discussion all the time, yeah. The most topic I would say is, do you really have management who trusts you, that you're doing the right things? It's really a trust topic, yeah. That's the only answer I can give, yeah. Thanks. Oh.
Hi, thank you. I just wanted to ask, the different pillars between energy, transport and tourism, they still look different. The consumer does not see that there's a Salzburg AG on top of it, is it right? Or even if a consumer is using the AVA app to get some information about it, does he know who is standing behind all this?
It really belongs. So let's say Eva app is completely different. You see all the green design. We really want to say it's not Salzburg AG, because if you bring this app to Vienna, nobody will want it from Salzburg AG. You cannot sell a product in Vienna if you're Salzburg AG. And also if you look tourism, so we have Chinese, we have people from Europe. I think nobody really looks if it's Salzburg AG. But sure, on the web page, there's one web page where you see all these pillars. But in real business, I think the people really don't. Only if you live there, then you know, okay, Salzburg AG, we have all this, this, and this, yeah. But if you're from China and come to Salzburg as a tourist, you don't care about that, yeah. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you for your presentation. You talked about how your unit is basically working completely different inside the company and also like live completely different inside the company. And I'm wondering what your unit or you are doing to, you know, convince or advocate others inside the company to basically bring them onto the new culture, onto the new ways of working, I guess, and, you know, bring the culture together, because I could imagine it is quite a clash of cultures inside the company, which is living parallel to each other for a little bit of time, but could also, you know, have some negative effects in the long run, right?
Yeah, what we're doing, we did a agile training program where everybody can take part. We also invite people to our office because we have this open space office. We really try, but sometimes it's really hard, yeah. Because you have people who are working for 30 years and then they never see something different, yeah. And there are people you cannot convince. There will always be a different, and maybe it's fine for them, yeah. They can do this, we can do that. It's only about that we tolerate the other guys, yeah. But we try to invite and to understand. There's the intranet where we post all what we're doing, yeah. But some people really say, yeah, that's cool, I want to join. And I'll say, okay, no way, stay out of that, yeah. I want to do my job, I did it for 30 years. Don't change anything in my job, especially now the office topic, because we have this open space offices, new offices. There was a big discussion, the whole company, for over 1 year. Yeah, yeah. You cannot believe how you're talking about the office. Yeah, that's ridiculous. Yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for the presentation. Really recognize myself because we are in the energy business. We are at the stage of the Typo 3 website.
Okay.
And we are a group of company, and my CEO, we want to make the digital transition, and we need to brainwash the corporate. So did you use external help to make this brainwash? I mean, it's the most difficult step is this, you know, to get the green light, go.
So yeah, we also have external. We have a few companies like change managers. We have also, you know, as I told you in the project, Deloitte. They're also helping to change. But for me, the easiest, you can train as long as you will. You can train hundreds of trainings that will not change anything. You have to really do things different. If you don't bring people into a project and say, now we're working different, you will change nothing. We send people thousands of hours training. What's agile? We give this Lego. We did whatever. We said, okay, what is like waterfall? What is agile working? Training, and they're going into the training and they're getting out and doing like the same things that they did before. So the only thing, what is my recommendation, you have to do it, you have really changed, bring them in the projects and work with these guys different. It takes longer in the project, but then you have this kind of change. Yeah, that will be my recommendation on that. Sorry guys, but I think we are really running out of time. Yeah, for sure, yeah. Because I have to catch my plane. Otherwise, I have to stay one night more. I like Hamburg, but I have tomorrow a management meeting. So thank you very much for all the questions. Yeah, it was a pleasure.